Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here on yet another one of our Studio Suite Live Q&A sessions. So for today, we're going to be looking at using Studio Suite remotely. For those who are new to Studio Suite is a market-leading resource management software used by many colleges, government institutions, film, TV, recording studios, and anybody who needs to pool all of their resources together in one place. These are some of the modules that Studio Suite offers. We also have 3 ways of accessing Studio Suite. So today we're going to be demonstrating how to use Studio Suite via your web browser, which is always a great option when you're working remotely or when you're working with remote teams, collaborating with other teammates that are working from home. These are some of the applications that we already have built into Studio Suite. And with that being said, I think we can go ahead and get started. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so this is what you would see once you open up Studio Suite. If you notice right now, we are using my web browser, using Safari right now, Safari. Just a quick tour over here for those of you who are looking at Studio Suite for the first time. So we have our projects on the left side right here. Our events are on the right side. These events are line items that belong to these projects over here on the left side. And we also have the tasks that have been assigned to us and any follow-ups that need to be made. So what's the difference between accessing Studio Suite via your web browser and accessing it on your desktop application? So that's a good question that I'm gonna go ahead and answer real quick. And by the way, for those of you who are watching this webinar live right now, if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them on the chat box and we'll get to those towards the end. I think this is going to be a quick one, but yeah, if you have any questions, please just jot them down and we'll get to those. So we're talking about the differences between accessing Studio Suite on your web browser versus on your desktop application. So I guess the main difference is that on your desktop application, you're able to make some adjustments. So maybe if you want to change the label of one of these buttons over here of the filters, or if you want to change the name on any of the buttons or anything like that, then for that you would use the desktop application. And if you go, actually I'm going to go to the desktop application. And when we are working in projects, for example, and you know what, let me give you a better example. So let's go maybe to, let's go to events. So there's some things like attachments where we can bring in items from Dropbox, Google Drive, or any of these sources. And one of the options that we have is to create a path to a folder in our local machine or a computer. And that, you know, you just can't do it on a web browser. By design, a web browser is not able to go and search for items or files in your computer. So that's another difference that I like to highlight. But other than that, I'm going to go now to Safari. Other than that, you still get pretty much the same other modules that you get in the desktop version. So we have calendar, we have our contacts to manage all of our employees, vendors, freelancers. We also get schedules, equipment modules, and all of the other ones that you see over here. And we have a few more. The ones that are being displayed right now are the ones that are highlighted in blue. So let's just give you a quick example of how we would create a fresh new project and create a budget and then send it to an invoice real quick using our web browser version. So for that, we're going to go into projects module. We're going to create a new one. We're going to say that we want to build it from a budget perspective. And we're going to call this one our web browser example. We can choose a client. So either we want to do it for somebody from the outside or internally. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select Millennial Productions, which is our example company that we're using. And let's pretend that we're building a project for maybe post-production or maybe a production project. So actually, let's say that we need a production crew. So here we go. Let's bring in some of these people. I'm not going to use the ones that have this exclamation sign over here because it's letting us know that there's a conflict and this resource right here, Tina, is already being used in a different project. So if you hover over it, it'll give you a little bit more information. So this is Jim, our production assistant, and you can see a barcode. That's for finance. All right, so let's go ahead and pick a few people from here. Let's say that we also want to look for a room. Maybe we want to have use the equipment room and use my room. And let's use some equipment as well. So for this one, maybe we want to use a couple of cameras and we want to bring in a hard drive. Okay, so we've added a few line items to our budget right now. From here, if we want to modify any of these rates, we can do it, overwrite those rates right here. Really simple. So if we want to charge a little bit more, that's okay. And Studio Suite will do the math for us and it'll calculate our profit and loss. Now we see that this number has turned into blue, letting us know that somebody edited this rate over here. We also have set of actions. So from here, if this is maybe an interview or a post-production project, the shoot, we can label these line items like that. This is really good for reporting as well. Any of these statuses can be changed manually, of course. So, you know, maybe this person's on vacation and they can't make it, so I'm going to label it as that. And now I know that I need to replace Alan. And if I wanted to replace Alan on this project, I can just go right here and change the assignment. So I can say assign to and choose a different person. Okay, so let's say that everything over here is good and we're ready to send this proposal to our client. So for that, we can, I think the easiest thing would be to print out a PDF. Unless my pop blocker is activated. Okay, let's try that again. And this is the budget estimate quote, you choose your name and you can change the look of this as well, of course. Now, here it is. If we have some notes, those notes would display over here as well. So where your client can sign and approve this quote. So you get all the details right here in a clean and a professional looking budget and quote from Studio Suite. All right, perfect. So let's say that now the client has approved this and we're ready to go into the actual project and do some work. So for that, we can go ahead and send all of these line items to an actual. So we would say send all to actual. Now we're going to see how this ribbon over here is going to change from a light blue color to white. So this is letting us know that right now we are looking at the actuals. So as it usually happens when it's the day of the project, when it's a day off, you usually have some unexpected expenses So maybe you forgot a few items or some things just came up and you had to add them. So let's go ahead and add some services. So maybe we needed some miscellaneous, we needed some B-rolls, we needed a remote shoot, and we needed a meal and some sandwiches. Okay, so we've added a few new items. Now, if we wanted to take a look at the difference between our budget or quote and the actuals, that's really easy to do. If we go over here to our view selector, we have three different columns. One of them is for budget, the other one is for actuals, and the other one is for the difference. So right here, I'm going to select to view the difference between the budget and actuals. Now this shows up with a tan color, letting us know that we're in a different view mode. And we have these blocks. So the block in blue is our budget, the block in white is our actual, and over here in tan, we have the difference. So if you notice, we have these ones populated with the number 1, letting us know that these were added on the actuals. So we can see the difference. And I guess none of these had rates established for them. So that's why we don't see a price number over here or a percentage difference. But if any of these line items that we added would have had rates, then we would see the dollar amount and the difference. So that's always really good to keep things clear. And if we are in this view, in the difference view, and maybe our client wanted to see this for clarification, we can also send this out in a really professional and clean manner. So here it is. This is our budget and actual comparison. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go back to our actuals view. And from here, let's say that everything is good and we're ready to invoice our client. So we go right here and say select all for invoice. Now we're going to see that most of these had a green check mark. The ones that don't have a check mark, and this means that they don't have a rate. So either you can decide to show them on the invoice or not show them. So if you did want to show these in the invoice, we can go ahead and select them as well. So maybe we want to show our clients that we provided all of these at no extra cost to them. Right, so now we can see that all of these have been selected. They have a green check mark. Now we can go ahead and say, let's see, select all invoice selected items. Right. So here is our invoice. We have all the client's information. We can include some notes if necessary. We have these notes that are already in here. Thanking your clients for the business. We can also include a PO number if our client has provided us the PO number. And once this is good to go, we would be able to see it like this. It'll display any discounts or taxes. All right, and there it is. Now, if we wanted to send this to QuickBooks, if you're using QuickBooks, we do have that plugin available. And it's really handy and it works really well. Although once our tech support sets you up, all you would have to do is click on this export to QuickBooks button, and then on this project and all of these line items would go over to your QuickBooks application. And anything that we create in the projects module, like we just did, we can see that also in the calendar module. So let me go ahead and refresh this one. Okay, and here is a new project that we just created today. It's a web browser example. We have all the line items. If you hover over any of these line items, you'll get a little bit more of information. And these are our resources. So here are some of the resources that we had assigned to this project, to the web browser example project. We have their start and end times. If we hover over this line item, we're going to get some details as well. These are events, line items. From here, from the calendar, if we wanted to add somebody to that project, we can also do that. So maybe we forgot and we needed Chrissy Stills. So we can go ahead and say book project, add to existing, proceed, and now we're going to look for a project web browser example. And we're going to say that we want to go back to the calendar. Okay, here it is. Chrissy Stills has now been added to this project. And if we go to our projects view and look for our web browser project, we're going to see Chrissy Stills here. From here, we can change her start and end time. We can add any notes. We can add an action. Maybe she's doing some interviews. And then just click on save. Okay, and I've shown this on different videos, but I'll show it real quick right now. For any of our resources, we can predetermine if they get an automatic notification once we've assigned them to a project. And to do that, we would go to Setup. We would go to User Accounts. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm so sorry for that. We need to go to Resources and Services. So from here, we would look for a resource. So I'm going to look for my example. And there's this little checkbox over here that says, right next to it, it says send email notifications. So if we select this, anytime that I'm added to a project, I'm going to get an email notification letting me know. And I guess one last thing that I wanted to highlight is that when you're working remotely, collaborating on projects from home, you can also use Studio Suite for those purposes. So Studio Suite is a lot of freelancers use it, and editors and people who are on the go and who are not at the office or full time. Let me try this again. Okay, I'm having some problems logging into my Studio Suite application, but Studio Suite is pretty much, Studio Suite Lite is our mobile application, and it's pretty much just a scaled down version of our fully featured version. So with Studio Suite Lite, you can use it on your phone, tablet. You can change your start and end times. You can change the statuses of tasks. So if you've been assigned a task, you can change it from assigned to completed or to any other status that you have created or established. So, all right, let's see if we have any questions. I think that's everything I wanted to show you. My main point is that you can access pretty much all the features that you have on the desktop version. You can access all of those via web browser in Studio Suite. So you can work from home, from the airport. If you had to travel to a remote location, you can still look at your projects, assign team members, create schedules, budgets, and proposals, all of that while you're out and about. All right, so I don't think we have any questions. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So for next week, we're going to be looking at using Studio Suite Lite and making web requests. So we ask you to join us for next week to take a look at how to use Studio Suite Lite, which is our mobile application. It's a really awesome tool to collaborate remotely, like I was mentioning earlier. And we're going to also be showing web requests. So thank you all so much for participating and for being here. You can sign up for a free trial if you visit our website, studiosuite.com. For any questions, you can also shoot us an email, sales@studiosuite.com, or also give us a ring. If you are an existing user and you want to set up Studio Suite so you can access it via web browser, just contact our tech support department at studiosuite.com, and they will be more than happy to help you out. So again, thank you all for being here, and until next time, goodbye.